E-commerce company Bukalapak plans to go public. Bank Mandiri has facilitated export transactions amounting to 429.2 trillion rupiah from January to April 2021. Hello, good evening viewers. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of informations from business, economic and capital market sector. And as the pandemic is still going on, we will provide you the latest COVID-19 information. So please stay safe by taking some simple precautions such as physical distancing, wearing masks, avoiding crowds, cleaning your hands and having less mobility. With me, Lantai Wijaya, and this is Market Headlines. Yes, viewers, nowadays, many digital-based companies start to enter the capital market, and soon, e-commerce company Bukalapak plans to go public as well. And by going public, Bukalapak targets to collect funds up to $800 million or around 11.2 trillion rupiah. Many digital-based companies start to enter the capital market, including startups. Sooner, startups with big valuation will enter capital market too, including Bukalapak. If it happens, Bukalapak's IPO will be the largest in Indonesia in the last 10 years and the largest IPO ever in Indonesia for a startup. Bukalapak, the fourth largest e-commerce company in Indonesia, will sell 10% to 15% its share in the IPO as the company targets valuations of between 4 to 5 billion US dollar. The 11-year-old startup, which claims to have more than 100 million users, have big name investors backing it, including Microsoft, Singapore Foreign Wealth Fund or GIC, local media conglomerate Amtech, the investment arm of Standard Chartered, and South Korean web portal Naver Corp. IDX Channel reported. World Bank predicts Indonesia's economic growth can go back to positive zone in 2021, and the best scenario, it will reach 5% in 2022. The World Bank estimates that Indonesia's economic growth will return to the positive zone in 2021 after contracted 2.07% year-on-year. Report provided by World Bank estimates that Indonesia's economic growth this year will grow 4.4%, and the growth will continue to next year, and it is estimated that the growth rate in 2022 could touch 5%. This estimation goes up 0.2% from the previous World Bank predictions in January 2021, which was 4.8%. But still, the World Bank notes that the increase in economic growth does not necessarily create jobs for certain sectors. Low value-added services such as trade, transportation, hospitality services will take long to recover. IDX Channel reported. In the midst of pandemic, Indonesia's toy sector is booming, and within last years, like 3 years ago, Indonesia was able to ship more toys worldwide with a value of 343 million US dollar. The Ministry of Industry noted that the performance of the national children's toy industry continues to experience a significant increase. Ministry of Industry's data shows that the export value of children's toys has increased over the last 3 years. The shipments of children's toys exceeded 320 million US dollars in 2018 and jumped to 343 million US dollars in 2020.
Ternyata mainan anak Indonesia itu memang sudah menguasai pasar internasional. Dilihat di sini kalau dari data import dan ekspornya kita masih surplus banyak sekali. Jadi ini memang merupakan salah satu program yang dicanangkan oleh Bapak Menteri, substitusi import.
And now moving on to the global update, U.S. President Joe Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed to begin cybersecurity and arms control. And from Asia, we got China's ride-hailing giant Didi Chuxing sets the stage of the mega U.S. IPO, and more stories on the International Minute. This is the first U.S.-Russian summit since Biden took office in January. U.S. President Joe Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed on to begin cybersecurity and arms control talks at the summit that highlighted their discord on those issues, human rights and Ukraine. They also agreed to send their ambassadors back to each other's capitals. Previously, Russia recalled its envoy after Biden said in March that he thought Putin was a killer, while the United States recalled its ambassadors soon after. India's new IT rules have made it mandatory for social media and OTT platforms to appoint a grievance officer who will be empowered to remove content when requested by law enforcement and also judicial bodies. Platforms like Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp were given 3 months in February to comply with these rules. However, India's technology minister said that Twitter Incorporated had deliberately divided and failed to comply with the country's new IT rules, which became effective in late May. Little did Cristiano Ronaldo know that his gesture of removing a couple of Coke bottles would cause a heavy loss to the company. As unbelievable as it may sound, the star footballer's act of pushing aside Coke bottles at a pre-match press conference and then advising to instead drink water has resulted in a whopping dip of $4 billion in the company's market value. China's largest ride-hailing firm, Didi Chuxing, last week made public the filing for its long-anticipated U.S. stock market listing, setting the stage for what is expected to be the most extensive initial public offering this year. With an anticipated groundbreaking offering potentially setting it up to be more valuable than rival Uber technologies, Didi is poised to begin stock market trading in July. IDX Channel reported. Market headlines will be right back after this quick break. Stay tuned.
Kini aplikasi mClears hadir di handphone Anda untuk memudahkan transaksi Anda. Informasi aktivitas clearing dan penjaminan tidak lagi hanya dapat diakses melalui komputer di kantor Anda, melainkan dapat diakses di mana saja dan kapan saja dalam genggaman Anda. Fitur-fitur mClears. Equity clearing dan settlement adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi kewajiban settlement anggota clearing hingga nilai alternate case settlement serta informasi gagal bayar. Risk management adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi trading limit, kolateral, MKBD, portofolio harian, risk charge anggota clearing dan kombinasi, serta nilai minimum cash collateral. Derivatif adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi trading limit, margin call, dan informasi clearing derivatif. Terkait pinjam-meminjam efek, terdapat fitur mengenai borrowing information dan lendable pool information, serta lending revenue dan borrowing fee. Serta menu lain yang menampilkan informasi mengenai haircut, risk charge saham, dan nilai harga penyelesaian harian dan harga penyelesaian final. Selain itu, Anda juga dapat mengakses fitur pengumuman, peraturan, dan informasi layanan KPEI pada aplikasi mClears. Download aplikasi mClears di App Store atau Google Play Store. Lakukan registrasi user Anda dengan menggunakan alamat email berdomain resmi yang sesuai dengan anggota clearing Anda. Setelah registrasi, Anda akan diberikan kode OTP di email Anda untuk verifikasi, dan aplikasi mClears Anda siap untuk digunakan. Anda dapat mengakses seluruh menu pada aplikasi mClears dengan melakukan aktivasi berlangganan premium yang dapat dilakukan dengan memilih menu Get Premium. Download aplikasinya sekarang, lakukan registrasi, dan dapatkan kemudahan dalam genggaman tangan Anda. Kemudahan informasi KPEI dalam genggaman Anda.
Welcome back to Market Headline. The Exchange Traded Fund, or ETF products, recorded growth from year to year. And referring to OJK data as the end of May 2021, the 48 ETF products that total managed fund reaching 14.84 trillion rupiah. So, what are the potential investment prospects for the ETF products? To discuss it further, already connected with us via Zoom, Yekti Dewanti, as the head of investment and research BNI Asset Management. Hello, Miss. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you very much for attending this Zoom meeting, because apparently we have a good headlines in here about understanding the prospect and potential of Indonesia ETF. And yes, Miss, I would like to deliver your data first, because by May 2021, the asset under management of Indonesia ETF is reaching about 14.85 trillion rupiah. Very huge number. Does this mean that market is very enthusiastic between these ETF products?
Yes, sure. That we are seeing the growing of ETF asset under management. It reflects market interest and the potential of growing investment prospect in the ETF. Because we are seeing that the growth of the ETF asset under management is higher than the conventional mutual fund. So because we are seeing that ETF is a simple product to invest, because the first investor can buy one unit ETF and they can get an exposure to a basket of stock portfolio without have a difficulty, complexity in choosing the stock as the underlying of the product. So it's really simple for the investor. And because of a basket provide asset or stock that designed to track an index, so it means they get benefit of diversification. So it means the risk is lower comparing to they just buy one stock.
Okay.
And then second,
and then?
after the simple and diversification, they can have a high transparency because investors can see what is the stock as the underlying of the portfolio.
I see.
And they also can see the intraday price in market. Just like buy a stock, we can see the price in the intraday.
Okay, so it is very transparent, and probably investors like the transparent one, right?
Yeah.
So is this in line with the ETF prospect in Indonesia?
Yes, we are seeing that ETF prospect in Indonesia will be going further because in the foreign capital market, we see the investor already have huge anymore or exposure in this product. For Indonesia, it's still new, but the growing, it shows that the prospect is going there because it's simple, low cost management, and also transparency. It makes an investor more convenient and safer to invest in this product.
All right, so you're very optimistic that investors would love to invest their money on the ETF product rather than, you said previously, better than the common mutual fund, or maybe I can't say it like the conventional one. And then, Miss, I would like to know more about you as a fund manager. I would like to your positions in here, because what is the main focus of a fund manager in launching product of the ETF itself? Do you think that ETF products with one another has different characteristics?
Yes, sure. As a fund manager, when we are launching the ETF project, it means we want to provide a comprehensive, attractive, and different variety in the investment product. So it means it can fulfill what our client needs. So when we are providing a new product, a new theme, so it means that it's new and the investor can pick it as a satellite portfolio or as a core portfolio for their own investment portfolio. So it means comprehensive and complete product for them.
All right. You mentioned a lot of times regarding the diversifications about the portfolio of your investors. How much do you think it's really important for investors to diversify their portfolio?
We think to diversify the portfolio, it comes from the ETF itself because the ETF already is a basket of 30 to 20 portfolio. So it means there have a benefit, diversification benefit itself. But in terms of how many ETF products that investor can have in their portfolio is based on their investment objective and their investment profile. Because when they have a long-term horizon, time horizon, so it means they can choose different products with different needs in each time period.
All right, Miss. I got the point of view that indeed ETF is really favorable nowadays because the portfolio diversification itself. So probably all investors with a low risk appetite can enter the game as well. But then, as we know recently, Miss, we know that ETF is really popular because it gains momentum because a lot of investors within a small scale and a large scale pay attention to the ETF. What do you think? Which one is the most appropriate, the passive investor or active investor that is going to have a good time in investing their money in the ETF products?
Yes, for the ETF product, it's mainly more match with the passive strategy because the passive strategy is because they would like to tracking the index performance.
Yes,
So
of
the main
course.
focus in the passive strategy is we are objective is to replicate the index. So we are focusing on the tracking error, which is a difference, which is indicator to calculate difference between ETF product performance with the benchmark performance.
All right, then. So it is more suitable for the passive investor. But then, Miss, which is the product of ETF that is most favorable one in Indonesia?
Okay. When we are seeing the product, ETF product that will favorable by investor is they look at the index provider, credibility of the index provider. In Indonesia, the ETF that basis or benchmarking in IDX index like IDX 30 or LQ45 index is favored by the investor. But another investor also favor in a ETF product that have a benchmark in ETF basis on MSCI Indonesia. Like BNI Asset Management, we have a partnership to launching an ETF with MSCI Indonesia, which underlying is MSCI Indonesia main index. Because the MSCI also have a credibility, global recognition, and also is a proxy of how foreign investor buy a stock in Indonesia.
All right, Miss. So we can conclude that investors have more appetite on the LQ45 and also MSCI very well. As we know that we can conclude that ETF nowadays is very popular because all investors can enter this game because small scale, large scale investors can enter this ETF investment because it's very transparent and of course easy to have with. Thank you very much for your time with us, Ms. Yakte.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yes, viewers, stay with us because market headlines will be right back after this quick break.
Jika Anda adalah investor saham, Anda mendapat keuntungan di antaranya capital gain, yaitu keuntungan dari selisih harga beli dan harga jual saham. Dividen, yaitu pembagian laba kepada pemegang saham. Keuntungan lainnya, investor bisa memperoleh pendapatan tambahan dengan meminjamkan sahamnya melalui layanan pinjam meminjam efek atau PME. Apa itu PME? PME merupakan pinjaman efek sementara berupa saham dari investor untuk keperluan penyelesaian transaksi bursa. Apa saja manfaat yang didapatkan? Investor memperoleh keuntungan. Investor tetap dapat menerima dana sebagai pengganti dividen jika ada pembagian dividen saat sahamnya sedang dipinjamkan. Pendapatan yang diterima investor dari layanan PME dapat digunakan untuk membayar biaya penyimpanan saham. Saat nilai saham turun, investor tetap dapat memperoleh pendapatan hingga mengurangi potensi kerugian. Dan yang terpenting, KPEI menjamin pengembalian saham yang dipinjamkan sesuai waktu yang telah ditentukan. Menarik bukan? Prosesnya sangat sederhana. Investor cukup menghubungi perusahaan sekuritas dan menandatangani formulir perjanjian PME. Selanjutnya, jika terdapat kebutuhan penyelesaian transaksi bursa oleh peminjam, saham yang akan dipinjamkan diserahkan kepada KPEI melalui perusahaan sekuritas. Setelah proses PME selesai, maka KPEI akan mengembalikan saham yang telah dipinjamkan dan memberikan pendapatan kepada investor melalui perusahaan sekuritas. Segera hubungi perusahaan sekuritas Anda, Customer Care KPEI, atau kunjungi website kami untuk mengetahui layanan PME. PME, pinjamkan sahamnya, dapatkan manfaatnya.
Welcome back to Market Headlines. So viewers, let's take a look at Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement. So earlier today, JCI was opened at level 6,049.14 and approaching the closing time in the first session, the index was on level of 6,065.4 and the index was showing weakening trend by the second session closing time. The index was closed at level of 6,068.44. In short, JCI went down 0.17%. And next we're going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got technology as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 2.05% and industry went up 0.67%. And then we got energy as the leader of the weakening trend that went down 1.46% and non-cyclic that went down 1.08%. Moving on to the top gainers and the top losers, here are key highlights from today's trading sessions. We got BBRI that went up 0.5%. We got FRAN that went up 10.28%. And MDKA that went up 5.85%. And ARTO that went up 0.54%. Meantime, for the top losers for today's trading sessions, we got BMRI that went down 1.2%, MLPL that went down 6.45%, BBCA went down 0.98%, and Telkom Indonesia went down 1.76%. Next, we are going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. So rupiah opened at the level of 14,337. Rupiah was also showing strengthening trend towards US dollar. I was closed at the level of 14,122. In summary, rupiah went down 0.8%. Moving on to the banking sector, Bank Mandiri has facilitated export transactions amounting to 429.2 trillion rupiah from January to April 2021.
Bank Mandiri continues to encourage international trade activities involving Indonesian business actors in order to accelerate Indonesia's economic recovery from the impact of the pandemic. Related to this, Bank Mandiri has facilitated export transactions amounting to 429.2 trillion rupiah in the January to April period this year. It is estimated that the export value is equivalent to around 44% of Indonesia's total exports. Bank Mandiri Director of Treasury and International Banking, Panji Irawan, said the growth in international trade transactions was driven by support for financing transactions that had been prepared with a variety of product lines. As for the trade financing facilities offered, Bank Mandiri has developed the Mandiri Global Trade application with various trade solutions for both domestic importers or buyers and domestic exporters or sellers. IDX Channel reports.
Wijaya Karya has obtained 8.13 trillion rupiah new contracts or 20.26% of 2021 new contract target.
As of May 2021, Wijaya Karya has obtained a new contract value of up to 8.13 trillion rupiah or realized 20.26% of this year's new contract target. According to Wika's Corporate Secretary Mahendra Vijaya, the new contracts was dominated by infrastructure projects as many as 62%. With this achievement, Wika is increasingly enthusiastic to seize opportunities from the tenders that are being followed. Mahendra revealed that in early June, the company had been trusted to work on the airside at Doho International Airport, Kediri, with a contract value of 1.38 trillion rupiah. In addition, the company is also participating in several auctions for infrastructure projects with a total value of around 30 trillion rupiah. Regarding Wika's performance, RHB Securitas analysts Rian Santoso and Andre Wijaya, in their latest research, assess Wika's new contracts will continue to grow in the second half of 2021. IDX Channel reports.
Step aside from market conditions as coronavirus pandemic takes big role on current economic situations. Here it is an update data about coronavirus globally. At the news close of Welcome back to Headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, Your Trustworthy Economic Business and Capital Market Channel. And don't forget to always wear face masks in the public, keeping safe physical distances, and washing hands to break the chain of COVID-19 infections. I'm Clara Antawijaya. Have a nice evening and stay safe.
Edisi kali ini kayaknya kita langsung aja masak. Saya mau menjelaskan atau mau memperagakan hidangan yang sangat simpel. Jadi ini semacam salad, tetapi nanti akan warm ya atau hangat. Nanti saya tambahkan smoked chicken. Jadi daging ayam, tentunya bagian dada yang sudah di smoke, jadi sudah diproses, beli jadi. Itu bisa kita tambahkan nanti. Tapi kalau untuk yang vegetarian bisa aja langsung tanpa itu juga tidak apa-apa.